Yes, sir. First and foremost, thank you for letting me get this opportunity to kick off the call. I want to give you guys a short introduction of who I am. I'm a 25-year-old Swedish guy. I come from a small city, but I always had very big dreams, my whole life. Always been dreaming very, very big. And that was like my thought process when I was going in school. So school didn't really work out. I never had any interest at all in school. Very early that I needed to find something else. I needed to find something else to do in my life. And time went on. So around 5 years ago, I got introduced to the network marketing industry. So I joined the company, and the thing that I had was desire. I had a burning desire. And at that point in my life, it was just a very dark time. I had a lot of stuff going on in my life back then that it was a lot of pain. And I decided to turn this pain into passion. And one thing that when I joined this industry around 5 years ago, my biggest breakthrough was an event that I went to, and I actually had a chance to hear Bob Proctor talk live. If you guys know who it is, if you know what law of attraction is, you know who Bob Proctor is. So he introduced me to like law of attraction and stuff like that. So then at that event, I took a decision that I am responsible for all of the bad things in my life and all of the good things in my life. So that's the point where I decided that I'm gonna do this. I started to visualize myself being the person up on stage, talking in front of thousands of people, earning a lot of money, the lifestyle, changing my life, my family's lives, my friends' lives, stuff like that. So I started to visualize my lifestyle. I started to visualize everything. And then actually 3 years into the industry, as I said, I'm 5 years into the industry now. 3 years in, without any experience at all, I hit an income of $10,000 a month. So like the reason why I'm saying it is not to brag. I know that it's good, but it's not to brag. It's to make all of you guys to understand that if you are the brand new person that just joined the industry, like no matter what your education is, no matter who you are,
I'm not sure. I think we have some internet problems, Philip, because your video is freezing and now I can't hear anything. Let's see if that comes back.
From this company that I started off from to Gifu. And I'm very, very grateful that I did. There's a lot of reasons why I made that thing. It's talk about here, but let's just say that I want to be in a company that is thriving. I want to be around a lead. So like 10 months ago, something like that. And then I saw that big leaders were joining Gifu. I saw that they had momentum. I saw the compensation plan. I also heard
visto il piano guadagni
in Gifu back then. I didn't know too much about Danien. The only thing that I knew was that he was a legend in the industry. And yeah, I just made a decision a month ago that I wanted to be in a place, an environment where the leadership and the company is focused on thriving. So I took a leap of faith and I made the switch. It was a big risk, but it was definitely time for me to move on. And one thing that made me feel more comfortable to make the switch as well was actually I'm in Dubai right now, I've been here for like 2-3 months, something like that. And only 2 weeks when I was here, Danien found out that I was gonna make the switch, or I wanted to make a change. So Danien invited me into his home, and it was such a great experience to be there, to meet Danien in real life. As I said, guys, like if you don't know who Danien is, I think he's gonna introduce himself as well. But you know, the things that I've heard and the things that I've seen, first off, like a legend in the industry, like 20 years of experience in the network marketing industry. I have like 4.5, 5 years in the industry. So that's also one thing, you know, I'm a rookie in this industry. I'm a newbie into the industry. So I also want to get guided and mentorship by the absolute best of the best. So that's also like why I felt more comfortable and why I felt that I wanted to do the switch to Gifu. So yeah, truly amazing. And yeah, he has been in the network marketing industry since he was like 18. So 20 years of experience in the network marketing industry. That's amazing. I'm not too much of a numbers guy, but I heard numbers that Danien has been doing in this industry. And from what I've heard is around like $30 million in lifetime earnings from network marketing. So that just proves, you know, it proves that he's a leader that I want to follow. You know, as I said, I want to be around leaders and in a company where they're focused on thriving. And that's also the main thing that I got like catched on, the vision that Danien has for Gifu and how engaged he is in just making sure that the company is thriving. And, you know, from the company that I came from, I saw Gifu and I'm like, damn, this is such a nice hybrid. It has everything. So yeah, man, on this call, Danien is going to talk about a 90-day game plan. Me, myself, I remember my first 90-day run. It was, I think, in my first year, I made a 90-day run. And I'm going to talk about volume here. It's different from every company, but I did a 90-day run, and I went from volume-wise from around $600 a month up to $10,000 a month in 6 months for doing that like 90-day run. And then the results after that, it resulted in much momentum. I'm also pretty sure, I think I've seen a training with Danien and Eric Worre when he's also talking about like a 90-day game plan. So me, myself, as I said, I've been in Gifu now for around like, when I made it public, around like 1 week. So I'm also on that 90-day game plan. So I'm excited for this training to hear from Danien, the action steps that I can take, that all of us can take to really explode in this industry. So Danien, if you're ready, the stage is yours.
Philip, born ready. I'm super pumped, super excited to be here. Congratulations for everyone who signed up on this call tonight, who's logging in on this call tonight, because I want to really help you and guide you through a personal story that I had with the 90-day game plan and what it's done in my life. And, you know, a lot of people have heard that I've done it like once, but it's totally far from the reality because we've done it several times. And the crazy thing is, every single time we did it the right way, it's produced results beyond understanding, beyond imagination, actually. And I'm going to try to speak slow for translators. Luigi, thank you for doing Italian, and Valeria for German, but it's just very hard for me to speak slow when it's such an exciting topic, such as the 90-day run. I want to dive into just a little bit on the why. Because first of all, I was a guy that when I started the business, and I know that's a lot of you guys on here, for me, it was very important to get results. That's why I joined, you know, to make money. I always joke I had 3 reasons to start the business: to make money, and to make money, right? And really, honestly, that was the truth. That was the start. But what happened very, very quickly is that I had a problem eventually, once my business started to grow just a little bit bigger, that I realized I get stuck. And I don't know if you've ever had that feeling of being stuck. Like, it's like you built something, you do have some income, you do have some team, but you're just stuck. And what was so weird about my experience of being stuck is that sometimes I know what I was doing. I was prospecting, and I was doing the invitations, and I was doing the closings, the follow-ups. Like, I was going through the motions. I got myself excited and all that. I mean, eventually, I mean, I knew how I built something, so I knew how to like continue. But just for some reason, what I used to do didn't seem to be enough to keep going from where I was. Have you ever had that? Have you ever felt stuck? If you have ever felt stuck, write the word stuck in the chat right now. If you ever felt stuck at any level, stuck, right? Exactly. And stucks, you know, to be stuck sucks, right? It sucks. It's the worst feeling, right? Stecken geblieben auf Deutsch, ja, oder halt auch in an Italiano, I don't know. But that's a problem, right? And we are all in different circumstances of our lives and our business. You know, we have a lot of guys on here, and welcome to the team. Welcome to Jifu guys, team from Philip that just introduced, and he had the honor to do the introduction because he did this huge decision, this huge leap of faith to say, you know what, I'm gonna join Jifu, and the whole team's on. So congratulations for all of you guys. You might not be stuck because you just get started, but there's equal value in the 90-day run. In fact, I don't think anybody's really stuck in Jifu. Everybody's just moving and thriving, like Philip is saying, because we're all just kind of getting started. But why not move with massive dynamic right now when things are already amazing versus just to wait until, you know, things get difficult? And this is the first lesson. And this is actually a big one. A mentor of mine told me once this, he said, a lot of people think that if they work hard and do the right things and really push the boundaries, that they're going to have unbelievable results. And that doesn't seem wrong to me to start with. That's true. And it kind of works. But he said what people forget is if they work hard and push the boundaries and do everything it takes in an environment that's already thriving, that's already exploding, that is when you get extraordinary results. So it's both. It's yes, it's your work, it's your push, it's your drive, but it's also the environment that you're in. If you're the only one pushing, it's difficult, right? If you feel you can't really be yourself, it's difficult. So this is why the positioning, the timing, the environment matters a lot. At the same time, your personal performance matters a lot, because you can be in the best company at the best time with the best leaders like we have right now in Jifu, and you could still not grow by yourself having no performance, right? So let's all recognize that the timing that we have, the leadership, the environment, the positioning of Jifu right now, I think we're in top number 3 in momentum right now in all the global network marketing in the world. That's pretty unbelievable. And lots of you guys, I mean, maybe why don't you type the country in the chat from which you're logging in right now? I think that's going to be an interesting one right now. Have a look in the chat. Just put, okay, we got Poland, Sweden, Germany, Sweden, Austria, Finland, Sweden, Germany, Sweden, Swiss, Sweden, Milan. Okay, Milan's not a country. I know you Italians are proud, but okay, anyways, Italy, Sweden. So we see a lot of Sweden here. That's your team, Philip, like super, super cool. And then of course, lots of others as well. And whatever country I'm seeing here, whether it's Cyprus, Sweden, Italy, Germany, Slovenia, I mean, whatever country it is, here's the reality I can tell you. You're at the very beginning of distribution phase of Jifu. You are at the forefront. You're right here when the market shares are being distributed. And that kind of a timing, David Bogemut, Wuppertal, I love this country. So truth is, none of us have ever had a timing like that in an environment like that. That combination of a powerful environment with a timing like this, it can't be beaten, right? So what's the missing ingredient? The missing ingredient right now is your performance. And this is where the 90-day game plan comes in handy. Like, it comes in like a salvation, literally. And it came to me like that because going back to my story, I was stuck 14 months. I was sponsoring. I couldn't get my volume to grow. It was wild. Just didn't work. too much people talking negative stuff, too many people defocused. I brought in people, they wouldn't do anything. And it's just like, I can't believe it. What is it I'm doing wrong? So what I did is I went to that event, and that is when I heard about the 90-day game plan for the very first time. And I honestly, it's crazy. Like, I think back that morning when I woke up, it was just a regular morning. It was day 3 of the event. You know, it was a good event. I was motivated, but I didn't know that that was going to be the day that would change my life. I didn't know. I just woke up, dressed up, got to the meeting, you know, and it was the last 30 minutes of the event. The speaker was talking about, have you ever thought about changing your life in the next 90 days? I'm like, what? What are you talking about? 90 days, right? I mean, I couldn't get it done in 14 months. How about 3 months? And anyways, he introduced the whole concept of the 90-day run. And in principle, you can make it really, really complicated, by the way, because it's such an attractive topic. Everybody wants to change their business in 90 days. So in the end, they came out with big seminars and workbooks and strategies and all that. I think that's most of it is helpful, but it's mostly just noise. The fundamental principle is what makes all the difference. And the fundamental principle is to say, look, I'm going to take the next 90 days of my life. I'm going to prepare my environment, and I'm going to focus on the business like I've never done in my life. Now, that might look different to each and every one of you, because maybe you're full-time in the business. That was my concept back then. And the idea was, okay, you know what? What if for 16 hours a day, I know it's crazy, but what if for 16 hours a day, I get up 7 a.m. in the morning and I start working at 8, and I'll work from 8 till midnight, like 16 hours a day. I won't do it just one day. I'll do it every day for 90 days and build that momentum. And let's just see what would happen if I did that, right? Total focus, total commitment. There's a couple of ground rules, which number one, give it a real 100%. And this is a crazy one, because I would always say, if you would have asked me at any point in my life, Danien, how important is the business to you? I would have said, very important. Okay, how important is it for you to get to the top? Very important. Okay, how important is success, money, career for you? I'd say, man, right beneath oxygen. Like, it is what I'm about. Okay, cool. Now, follow-up question. If it's so important to you, have you ever given it your absolute everything, like 100% in? I'm not saying 99%. We've all done a lot. We've all had busy days and busy nights and lots of calls and travel. No. I'm talking about 100%. You give it everything you got. Have you ever done this? Even if it's just for a consecutive period of time, even if it's just 90 days. And the God's honest truth was, I've never done that before. I've never done this. And it hit me like a brick. How is it possible that if the business is so important to me, it's like literally everything I dream about? How come I've never done this? How come? And here's the thing, you can lie to everybody. You can't lie to yourself. You know if you've given it your absolute everything. Have you or have you not? And reality is, everything's different. Everything's like, in 90 days, you're going diamond or somebody will shoot you in the head. How would you run now? If you're not a diamond in 90 days, they're going to abduct your kid. How are you going to go for diamond in 90 days? I know those are like terrible examples, but you get the point, right? You would give it your absolute everything. Have you ever worked like this? And the reality was, I was like, no, I haven't. And then I thought about it. I was like, what if I did, though? What would happen if I did? Man, what could you accomplish in a single day? And I started to kick off my 90-day run by saying, you know what? I'm just going to start a whole new list. Because here was the thing. My thought was this. It's crazy. Maybe you can't really expect that from anybody, because reality is, for most people, that's too crazy. I mean, they got lives, they got family, they got business and, you know, a job, and maybe they're not as hungry as you are. And so they probably not do it. So I thought to myself, you know, maybe nobody will really like join that idea of going all in. So maybe I'll be just by myself. And probably a lot of you have that thought too, you know, maybe it's just going to be you. So I needed that kind of backup plan where I said, okay, what if it doesn't work? What is the stuff I can do if nobody does it, right? So I decided, okay, you know what? Worst case, I can make more prospecting, more invitations and presentations than I've ever done in my life. Because literally for 16 hours a day, I can just talk to people, worst case, right? That's what I could do. You agree? We could all do that. Doesn't matter if your team's not working. Doesn't matter if nobody's buying into the idea. You yourself could just talk one person to the next and show them the business and, you know, tell them the vision and all that. And back in the day, my daily method of operation was always like, you know, 3 invitations a day. It was always like, I'll talk to 3 people a day. Sometimes I'd probably only talk to 2 people a day, but it's kind of like, you know, 10 a week. And out of 10, I had like 3 presentations and 1 sign up. That was always kind of like my numbers. That's pretty standard. If you like reach out to 10 people that you built relationship with, make the invitation, you'll have about 3 that are like, you know, fairly interested, really look at the presentation. 1 will sign up. So my mind was like, look, instead of signing up a person a week, which was kind of like my drum set, right? I am going to just do that today. Because worst case, I could talk to 10 people today. And tomorrow I could do the same thing. And if for about 90 days, just for the sake of easy math, let's say 100 days, I would talk to 10 people a day, that's 1,000 people that I will talk to by myself in the next 90 days. And if I keep those numbers, that will mean out of 1,000 conversations, I'll have 300 presentations and I will have 100 signups. And guys, by all measures or standards of network marketing or whatever you do, if you personally enroll 100 people front, and I know that that's not very in the kind of like the new style network marketing. It's not like how to say the sexy thing anymore. A lot of people talk about, oh, I just bring in a few people, I work in depth. Guys, you don't want to know how much money you're missing by not consistently growing a width in your organization. I learned this many years ago. The depth is going to be your stability, true, but the width is going to be your income. So don't you want to make 10,000 a week, 20,000 a week? How's your vision? 50,000 a week, 100,000, 6 figures a month, not a year. How about that? I've personally reached multiple 6 figures. My wife and I, tops was more than $700,000 in a single month. Fast forward. That's wild. My worst check in the last 4 years was $250,000 between myself and my wife. $250,000 a month was the worst check we had the last 4 years. Okay? Why? How? Because of front lines. Lots of front lines. So many different lines that are producing results. You cannot even fathom how much money a line can bring you when it starts developing. You'll never really know because you keep earning from it today, right? So my game plan back in the day was, look, if everything fails, I can talk to 10 people a day, put them on a follow-up list, follow up with everyone every day, add another 10 tomorrow, add another 10 tomorrow, and if everything goes wrong, I'm gonna have 100 front lines and I'm going to be a legend in the company. Agree? If you go out today and you put 100 front with a clean process, good invitation, good follow-up, you sign them up, you get them started, 100, everyone in Jeep is going to talk about you. You know it, I know it. So that was it. And my mind was like, I don't even need anybody. I can just do my job, right? That was very, very powerful to me. It was different, but it was like, that's crazy. I have the power to change my life in 90 days by myself. This is crazy, right? And so I did that. I started that. And reason why I'm telling you is, so I said, look, 1,000 people is a lot. I don't even have 1,000. Let's be real. Do you have 1,000 people to talk to right now? I don't, but I had some to start. So I did an Excel file. I did like 1, 2, 3. You know, when you mark the cells and then you just pull down, then Excel will actually write for you 4, 5, 6, 7. Like it'll do the thing. And I pulled it all the way down to 1,000. I'm like, dang, that's a lot of people, right? So I didn't have 1,000. So I said, but you know what? Let me start with 100. Let me start with 100. I can identify 100. So I went into my social media. I went into my, and by the way, if you say, oh, Danien, I don't really have 100 people, I don't believe it. And you know why? Take your WhatsApp, open it right now. And I'm not doing the thing like how many contacts in your phone. I get it. You know, we got like, I mean, how many of you have people in their phones? If you would call them right now, you wouldn't even know who they are. Come on, put a number 2 in the chat if that's you. No idea who is this person, right? If I put Christian, like got 16 Christians, I don't even know, right? So forget that one. But if you just like scroll through your WhatsApp conversations, how many you have? Most of us have hundreds. Some of us have thousands, right? Do the same on Instagram. Do the same on Facebook, Messenger. Yes, the old stuff that we're not using no more, right? These are not just people you know. These are people you already talked to. So don't tell me you don't have 100 people. We all do, right? So all I did is I identified 100 that I would think, man, that'd be incredible if they would actually join my business. That's it. No rocket science. Put 100 down the list. And then I did this. Took the first one and I said, voice message. Hey, Frank, it's Danien. What's going on? Listen, Frank, I am thinking about you for the last 24 hours, like the entire time. And here's why. I'm working on a project that can really blow up like crazy. And the reason why I'm talking to you is you are bright, you're smart, you're forward thinking, you're a person that I've always admired because you have goals, you're serious about your life. And I just have to take a few minutes and to talk with you and share that project with you. Because if you use these skills and turn them into, action together with me in this, I think, man, we can do fantastic. So please let me know, reach out to me so I can share the information with you. Let me know when we can talk. Bye. That's it. That one, 100 times though. It says my internet connection is unstable. I hope you can still hear me. Okay. So that one, 100 times. Personalized. I didn't take the same message and just forward it. No. I made 100 messages. One, the next one, the next one. Okay. We wait for a second for the internet to come back. Okay, are we good again on the internet? Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me. We're back. Okay, cool. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything. I saw the message, internet slow. Okay, we're back. Okay, cool. So what I did is I took those 100, I did these individual messages to them and kicked off the conversation. And what was so crazy to me is that it took me about 3.5 to 4 hours to send these messages. I was sweating. My throat was dry because the rule was give it everything you got. When you give it a real 100%, that means energy too. You can't just be like, hey, Mark, hit me back when you can. That'd be awesome. No. You got to be like, Mark, I have to talk to you. This is insane, right? You get it. Energy. If two people communicate, the person with high energy is who's going to influence, who's the one who's going to win. So energy is important. It's 80% of your conversation is not what you say, but how you say it. So I did 100 of those. Some was 3 minutes, some was 1 minute, some was 30 seconds, some was 2 minutes 20. But at the end of the day, when I was done, and I'm telling you, I was struggling. Voice message number 65, dude, I was like, all right, another one, let's go. Like, it's not easy, right? It's like, dang, my phone was draining. It got hot. I had to get the charger, I had to get water, I had to change my t-shirt. And all of a sudden it hit me. I was like, it's 11:40 in the morning of the first day of 90 days. Not even 4 hours have gone by. It's not even noon yet. I'm supposed to work till midnight tonight. And that's 16 hours. And that's day one. So what would be possible if you did that for 90 days? That's pretty inspiring, right? So I realized, while I was doing it, how much you can do in the same time that other people are just not doing it or not doing anything. Second thing I realized was it's tough. It's not easy. This is not for the faint-hearted. It felt to me like an extreme sport because it was physical, right? So I was like, man, I'm up for the challenge. I won't quit. I will do this until it's done. So I started to really rock and roll. And I know the number one question people ask me is like, yeah, but what exactly have you done, Danien? What is it that you did? I didn't do anything really new that we wouldn't know. Yes, I had that list of people. I had that daily standard of 10 a day, which I tried. And just to let you know, I never even did more than that initial kickoff list because I had no time anymore. Because you know what's crazy when you talk to 100 people? You actually have people that are interested. And then you have people that want to get started. And then you do meetings with their people. And it just snowballs from there, right? And then you have people from your team that start to pitch in. But I have another secret sauce that I did use, and I'll tell you in a second. But it was crazy. So I never needed 1,000 people. That was just the backup plan. I never really needed it. But here's what happened. I worked super hard. The first week, I was tired. My volume hardly moved. I remember it was like, I mean, I was, just to get an idea, I was making like 5,000 a month. I wasn't having like that massive business. I've been up before. I've been to like, I think 24,000 a month, but I lost a huge leader and then I got stuck and all this stuff, you know? So at that point, my volume started to move tiny bit, but nothing, like $500 more. I was like, that's crazy. I'm working so hard, nothing's happening. And then I told myself, I said, look, I'm going to judge the results, not while I'm doing it, but when I'm done. I'll just get it done, get the job done, 90 days. Then I'll look at it. And week number 2, nothing moved. Crazy. Week number 3, business exploded. Week number 4, business exploded. I'll never forget. It was crazy. My third week in the business was $24,000. The fourth week was $37,000. That week, I had never, I mean, today these kind of like normal numbers, right? But it was like, I'd never seen anything like this before in my life. And then I hit a rank, and you know, the reality was, so get this, my rank was Blue Diamond. And but I wasn't paid at rank. And by the way, if you ever had that as a leader, you have a rank title, you're not paid at that rank, it's a disaster. It feels horrible, right? But I lost this huge group, like I told you, right? And so I was paid below my rank. In fact, lots of levels. I was paid gold. I'll never forget that. Stefania, you remember, right? I was paid gold always, and other people making fun of it, right? It was gold, and then it was ruby, emerald, diamond, blue diamond. Think about it. I was blue diamond, paid gold. And it sucked. And so then what happened was my dream, like if you would have asked me, okay, what's the goal of the run? Like what is like the ultimate perfect outcome? I was like, man, if I get back to Blue Diamond, actually paid Blue Diamond, that's insane. That'd be incredible. I think there was like 3 guys in Europe that had that at the time. So that was my whole goal. And that's what I focused on. And I visualized that goal every day. I had a flip chart in my room and I wrote the volume that was required in front of me. And every day I deduct and update the volume like by hand. I wanted to kind of see it in front of me the entire time. And I was prospecting and I was doing the calls and all that. I gave it 100%. I only did productive things though. I never did nothing that wouldn't produce business. Like I wouldn't read, for example, you know, personal development, reading books, for example, amazing, super important, but not in the run. Like read those in 3 months. Now it's time to produce. Does that make sense? Okay. So only productive activities allowed. And so I did all that, and eventually things started to get bigger. And a big the secret that I was talking to you guys about just now that I was going to tell you, I'll tell you right now so you don't miss it, is to stay resourceful. This one's super important. Okay. And there's a little story that I'm going to share with you, and it's actually from Tony Robbins. So Tony Robbins had a TED Talk once, and there was really, really successful people in that meeting. For instance, there was President candidate Al Gore. For those of you that are a bit older than me, you might remember there was Al Gore running against, I think, George Bush to go for president of the United States. And Al Gore lost so close, like he didn't win by just a hair, really, right? He didn't win. And he was in there, other successful CEOs, everything was in there. And Tony Robbins said, look, guys, I want you to think of a moment where you had a goal and you missed it. Do you got something? Yes? Okay, cool. So now tell me, why did you miss it? And scream it. Tell me, why did you miss it? And people would say, I just didn't have enough time. I didn't have enough budget. I didn't have enough money. I didn't have enough contacts. I didn't have enough skills. And then Al Gore was like, I just didn't have enough voters. I was good. I just didn't have enough voters. And everybody was laughing, right? And Tony Robbins says, look, thank you for your honesty, but you're all wrong. You didn't miss your target because you didn't have enough money, time, skills, or even votes, Mr. Al Gore. You missed your target because you weren't resourceful enough to get these resources, because everything you're telling me was a lack of resources, time, money, skill, votes. No, you didn't have enough resourcefulness within you to create the resources. You don't got the money, get the money. You don't got the context, get the context. You don't got the skills, learn the skill, or recruit somebody that has the skill. Get it? So take full responsibility and ownership over every single thing that you need in order to accomplish your target. This is why the leader takes responsibility for everything, doesn't blame other people, because if you do, you give away the power. You could never do it. You didn't have enough money. How can you do it? You don't have enough money. Well, find a way to get the money, right? And I'm not saying it's easy. Nobody's saying it should be easy. If it was easy, it wouldn't be success in the first place. Everybody would just do it. But it's about being accountable and resourceful. So I developed this whole little process, which was just called a simple brainstorming, right? So every day I did this. I took my iPhone, I put it on like, countdown, 1 minute. That's all you need, 1 minute. 1 minute, boom. And then I wrote ideas. What else can I do to produce volume? What else can I do to produce growth? What else can I do to grow the belief? What else can I do to get more people? What else can I do? And then I just wrote, I can make a call and talk to people about the products. I can create incentives. I can talk to more people personally. I can call all existing people and upgrade their packages. I can, I was just brainstorming. And sometimes I had stupid ideas, like I need to find a sheikh from Dubai that has a lot of money just going to place a huge order. It doesn't matter. I just wrote down everything. And then once I was done, minute was over, stop, boom, I had 12 ideas. I quickly crossed out the ones that were really, not good. And then I got to work. And the whole magic is just do it. Don't think about it too many times. That's the problem, in today's world, we think like, oh, I had this thought. I remember thinking about my aunt, my sister's, my mom's sister, just family, right? And I was like, how come my aunt doesn't know what I'm doing? Isn't that wild? Like, she's my aunt and she doesn't know what I'm doing. So I literally had that thought. It's super random. I was just like, talk to my aunt. She doesn't know what I'm doing. Sign her up, right? And in a normal circumstance, I'd be like, yeah, another day. That's not the most important thing right now. And so many times we stop ourselves from doing things that could actually grow the business. We just don't do it because we have too many excuses on why we shouldn't do it instead of just doing it. And in the run, I realized this, there is unlimited amount of time. We have all the time, right? We got every single moment of every single day. We do nothing but volume, so do it. Don't ask me which one's better. Should I make this call or should I make this incentive or should I talk to my aunt? It doesn't matter. Do all of them. Do this, and this. Let's go, right? That's the run feeling. That's the kind of like the flow state you need to be in, and you need that energy and you need that hunger and you need to know why you're doing it or you just won't do it, right? So here's the crazy thing. So I fight like crazy. And all of a sudden, I get into that, what I call the flow state. Everything works. It's unbelievable. The best way to describe it is in sports. And you might have had that if you're doing any type of sports. It's the only other way of really how I can explain it. I used to play a lot of table tennis when I was young. Today, I'm all about tennis, right? But the point is, it might be football, might be hockey, maybe it's golf. It doesn't matter. Have you ever had a moment where you played in a match or a competition and for some reason that day, everything works? Ever had that? Like, it's like, I don't know, you're in golf, you hit that swing, you know exactly how you want to hit it and you know that one's difficult, but in this moment, just don't feel the fear. You know you can do it and you do it and you also know normally you cannot do it. But on that day, it's weird. It just works, right? It's a little bit like, I was just now in Munich at the ATP finals in Munich at tennis. And there was this German guy, Jan-Lennart Struff. Huge congratulations, by the way. He won his first ATP title at 33 years old. He is not in the top 10 in tennis, but in the competition, there was like, I think 6 guys in the top 10. It is highly unlikely that he has even a chance. Guys, he didn't just win. He annihilated his competition. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. He played Holger Rune, just for you guys who know. He's like number 4 in the world or something. He defeated the guy 6-2, 6-0 for the guys who don't know tennis, 6-0 in 45 minutes. Just to compare, normally a tennis match would be like at least double that time or triple. 45 minutes, the guy was back on his plane. It was unreal. He was number 4 in the world, and he made him look like a little kid. So now you ask yourself, why isn't this guy number 1 in the world? Well, I'll tell you why. He cannot play like this every single day. For some reason, he was in that flow state on that tournament. He just hit the shots. It wasn't, it wasn't even funny. It was just unbelievable. The guys were like, what am I supposed to do? Right? It was just bang. And so that's the moment. That's the flow state I'm talking about. And because of the intensity and all the calls and the belief and the resourcefulness and just keeping it going the entire time, I got myself to that point of flow state where I just was like, literally, okay, guys, what do we need? Another 70,000 volume? Let's go. Let's put it on the paper. Let's be resourceful. Let's get it done. It doesn't even, guys, it didn't even matter anymore. Now, in that state, everything works, right? So, of course, I hit my goal of going back. Exactly. Let's be like Strophi. Junge, let's go. So anyway, so I did this back to Blue Diamond. And just to tell you how crazy that entire story is, you all know Kelvin Becerra, right? Obviously, my great friend here in Jifu with us. He was my sponsor back in the day. And I called him and I was all excited. I said, Kelvin, you will not effing believe this. I'm going to be back to Blue Diamond. And he was like, that's great, man. And I was like, why aren't you excited for me? He's like, listen, bro, I had this thought. If you would jump Blue Diamond and go purple, which was the next rank, I could hit my next rank and I'd be kind of like number 3 in the company. And I was like, wait a minute. What do you mean the next rank? How am I going to go the next rank? I haven't even done this one yet. I'm telling you, I think I can do it. But it's kind of like, how, right? And he was like, man, come on, please try it. But I was in such a crazy flow state that I just said, you know what? I don't even care anymore at this point. I'm telling you once, Kelvin, I don't know how to do that. But here's what I'm going to tell you is I will just forget I don't know. I'll remove my target. I replace it with a new one. At the end of the day, it's the same thing, just bigger. And I'll just act in faith as if I knew how to do it. And I just do it. And believe it or not, it was such a flow state. I did that. Next week, there was just like 8 days left or something in the month. So I called Kelvin. I said, Kelvin, you will not believe it. I'm going to do it. I'm not there yet. I think I'll do it. I'll go purple diamond. I was already beyond any imaginable, thing. Like I told you, my check went up like crazy, like 400%, 600%. It just went on and on and on. And then he told me this. I'll never forget the words. He's like, that's unbelievable, Danien, but it's not enough. I'm like, what do you mean it's not enough? He said, can you go white diamond? I mind you guys, we're talking about days. It was like, I go blue, 8 days later, I should go purple, and now I got another 3 days left and go white diamond. Try that. I mean, here the rank names are different now, right? But just try that. Oh, Jan, great for going blue diamond. Love you, man. But can you go black? Oh, by the way, black's not enough. Can you go presidential? Like, what? Like, you know what I mean? It's insane. It doesn't even make sense. So I told him this. I said, Kelvin, look, we've been through this a few days ago. I don't know how to do it. But I just decide to not give a shit. I'll remove my target. I promise you I do everything I think I know in order to get it done. But just for the record, I don't know how to do this, but I'll try. And man, we did the craziest momentum ever. And at this point, it was just radical resourcefulness, unreasonable. I remember we did this project 70,000 because I was missing 70,000 volume back then with a small team that was huge volume. And I said, man, we're going to shut down this, because I asked myself, what will be the craziest thing for my team that I can possibly do in this moment? And back in the day, my team, I mean, it's kind of like today our team's super young, right? Back in the day, my team was super young. Like, my team was always super young. Just I grew older, but everybody's still super young, right? So truth is this. I said, the craziest thing that we could do, everybody was about, party and all this, having fun. And there was this club in Frankfurt, it was called the Miko, for those of you that still know the Micro in Frankfurt, right? And it was famous for even turning away celebrities. No, you're not getting in tonight, no, right? So I said, look, guys, here's what we're going to do. Project 70,000, we got 72 hours. If we do the volume, we're not just going to go all party in the Micro, but we're going to shut down the club for just us, and you decide who's getting in. You have no idea. Everybody went crazy. Now you might say, but how could you even promise something like that? How did you even know how to do that? Or did you have the contacts? And you know what? None of that. I had no idea. I didn't know how I do it. I didn't know how much it was going to cost. I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't even know if it was possible. But you know what? I had no time to think about that. I had to come up with something on the spot and run with it and then figure it out later. And believe it or not, we did it. And we partied in the Micro a couple of months later with this very promotion. My check blew up to more than $100,000 in that month. The first time ever, I went from $5,000 to $100,000 in just 55 days, because that was the night it all closed out. I did not run till 90 days. I was done. I needed to sleep. I also checked into a hospital to kind of check if my vitals are still okay. I stopped sleeping and then everything. It was a crazy story. And I want to tell you in closing, when it all came in, here's what happened. I waited for the backups to update. Just show me the volume. I need to see we got this, right? White diamond. Boom. All of a sudden it was in 9 a.m. in the morning. I was so tired. I just wanted to go to bed. And guess the one thing I couldn't do then? Sleep. I tried. I couldn't. All I wanted to do was sleep for the last 3 weeks. And when I tried to sleep, I couldn't sleep. So I was like, you know what? Let me just put on my sunglasses and go have a breakfast. And it was really like this. I lived in Wuppertal at the time. So I put on my sunglasses and I went for breakfast. Oh, you can't hear me? Now you wonder why I'm having my sunglasses on, right? So I hit my target. I put my sunglasses on and I went for breakfast. Can you still hear me? Or am I talking to myself at this point? Okay, good. So I went for breakfast. I went out and I saw people in their cars, going to their job, going to work. And I felt like I just won the Olympics. Just nobody knew. Just nobody knew. And I ordered my eggs. I had my breakfast. And I just made 100 grand. And I was like, I don't know. How old was I? 27? Wild, right? So that's the power of the 90-day game plan. And once I did this, because of this one story, I knew that whenever I need it, I can turn on the heat and I can say I give it everything I got for a certain amount of period of time. And I will give it 100% energy. I'll do only productive things and I'll stay resourceful. So I keep on the activity and I keep my mind open, because the mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open, right? If you close it and you say, I don't know what to do. I've talked to everybody. I'm not good at this. You won't be successful. But if you open it and you ask yourself empowering questions, such as what else can I do? Who else can I talk to? How can I grow belief? How can I grow volume? Who can I support in my team? Who would be the next one to buy in? What would be another message that would excite the organization? And so you can come up with stuff. You can be creative. And I'm not talking about reinventing the wheel. I'm just talking about being resourceful and lead your team to a better place. That is your opportunity. So ladies and gentlemen, we're in Gifu at the most amazing time of our lives. We have the opportunity to make this huge. My call to you is ask yourself if you might consider to actually just go all in for the next 90 days. And if you're here new, you just get started, perfect time. That's the moment. Fast is easier than slow. Hit it with everything you got and watch where you can go in just 90 days. Success loves speed. People love speed. People love stories of success, and everything will multiply and go bigger and bigger and bigger. And guys, just because I know you're upset that your whole team was on there, and a lot of people probably didn't watch this, I recorded it and I'm going to put the recording online. So guys, thank you so much. Let's make this happen. Don't overcomplicate it. I know you got a million questions. Forget about it. It's just about this. The decision, set a target, all in, 100%, only productive activities, stay resourceful, take ownership, and let's do it. Let's get the job done. Thanks, guys.